Everyone, let's give Marcela Huerta a warm welcome to the stage next. They are a community director at Co-op Games, where they strive to make sure that there are inclusive spaces for BIPOC and queer gamers and devs. So let's see that love in the chat and welcome Marcela to the stage.
Hello, and welcome to my talk. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing a lot. But who am I, and what am I doing? My name is Marcela Huerta, but you can also call me Marty. I'm the community director at Co-op, the worker-owned studio behind Goodbye Volcano High, Winding Worlds, Dépanneur Nocturne, and Nog. But I am not from a games background whatsoever, and this is my first job in this field. What that means is that I spent the better part of a year when I first started feeling like I had absolutely no idea what was going on or whether anything I was doing was good or not. I was chicken, no head, running, you get the idea. After a whole lot of very real banging of my very real head against a very real metaphorical wall, and researching all sorts of common practices that sometimes left me even more confused, and trying to mimic what I perceived as the industry standard, I realized I was just exhausting myself doing things that didn't come naturally to me. So in a desperate attempt to get our game in front of a wider audience and also resolve some of the mental health struggles I was having about working in a field that utterly confused me, I decided to take all the skills I had from outside of games and try to apply it to games. What are the things I pulled from when I decided to do community direction and marketing in a way that actually utilized my strengths? When the stand becomes the holder of the stand key. As a kid, I wrote so much fan fiction, it's not okay, but let's not talk about that, please. Let's talk about how if you were a kid that wrote a lot of fan fiction, that means you were a kid who was in a lot of fan communities, and as such, you know at the very least what you wanted as a fan. I took some of those lessons and applied them to creating in-world meta storytelling. On our Discord, alongside our programmer, Jacob Blomstein, I wrote in-character tarot readings that left little clues about the world we were building. I planned Discord events and community activities facilitated by the characters from the game. And I am also, this is in progress, using interactive narratives to write stories about these characters that will be revealed for players later in the year. Basically, I tapped into my inner teen and imagined what I wanted my fandoms to be when I was an obsessed 13-year-old, and I made that a reality. So this is the tarot bot that we put in our Discord. This is just an example of some of the cards and things. It's not like what it looks like on Discord itself, but you can basically just get your daily reading. You can get a 3-card reading. You can get a love reading. You can even do Celtic Cross. It includes the entire major arcana. And one of the characters from the game is the bot that facilitates it. These are some of our Halloween events. Each character gets to have their own little activity that it kind of has that fits their characteristics. We also have trick or treat and things like that, but the games are where you kind of get to learn a little bit more about the characters because it's kind of in their persona. Up next, parental translator. Diaspora crew, rise up. Anyone who's ever had to do instant translation of a landlord conversation or explain a medical document to a family member who doesn't speak English knows the shortcuts you have to take, the ways you have to simplify things and make them just a bit more manageable, both to keep your loved one in mind and also because of a lack of understanding of the issue itself, because what 9-year-old understands the intricacies of the medical system. Because of this, I find that I can use those skills to take the unbelievably complex, to me, world of tech and put it into simpler terms for a wider audience on TikTok, often even when I don't understand what I'm saying yet. They learn as I learn, we learn together. Lastly, poetry. I am not writing poetic dinosaur TikToks yet. but poets do tend to do performances, and performances require stage presence. I try to take that energy into my voiceovers for my TikToks due to our history of being harassed online for queer content, etc. I did not initially feel comfortable showing my face on TikTok, but I still had a feeling that the audience I wanted to tap into was likely on TikTok. So instead of doing a lot of front-facing content, I focused on voiceovers. This is also just another reminder not to let the illusion of industry standards scare you into going beyond what you're comfortable with. I don't use my face in most of our TikToks, and they do totally fine. In fact, our voiceover videos are some of our most popular videos. I also often get comments on my voice being soothing to listen to, which is a confidence boost for me. So these are just some of our more popular voiceover TikToks. Please go follow us. It would make me happy. As a side note, talk to people in the industry. Don't be a silo. Many community managers are all-knowing and very kind. Asking around this amazing community of queer BIPOC community managers was one of the best things I could have possibly done when I was first starting out. They assured me when I wondered if I was on the wrong course, helped me with ideas and suggestions, and provided me with concrete assets like a stats tracking doc that I could then adapt and use to figure out if my little schemes were working. But even they sometimes seemed to repeat what I thought I was the only one thinking, that they often felt like they didn't know what they were doing. And so one of the biggest takeaways that I've had over the past 2.5 years in this industry is that as much as it seems like everyone has a concrete plan, a lot of people in the industry also find themselves throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. And instead of following the rules of marketing for a game. In an industry that's always evolving, even if it feels like there's a script for how to find your audience, that script may not fit you. And wouldn't you rather write your own? Plus, when it comes to games that are led by queer people, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and other people from marginalized communities, our games are not always going to fit within the existing status quo of marketing strategies and methodologies. So I think it's best to just do what you feel is best, and then you will often innovate while doing it. And have I seen any success in this technique? Well, a lot of this work is still in progress, so let's talk in a year, but I'm working on it. I started a TikTok platform from scratch and have built it up to a 16.3K following. I've seen our Twitter jump to 12.7K from a few thousand when I first started. And our Discord gets a lot of industry attention for its cute meta vibes. And you can see a talk that our programmer Jacob and I did on our Discord. It's much more in-depth at Gameplay Space for Disco Montreal this past summer. All that, and we haven't even shown gameplay yet. Most importantly though, I feel better. I'm doing things in a way that actually works for me without overextending myself to try to fit the mold of games marketing. When things don't work, it's okay. I try something new, but I still make sure that something new is something I'm doing because I believe in it, instead of just because I heard it was the thing to do. So what are your strengths? What is the thing you do that everyone always compliments you on? These can be soft skills or hard skills, hobbies or professional pursuits. They can even be metaphors. Some of these things may have very direct links to how they can help you in your marketing, video editing, acting, writing, and some you may have to dig around in your soul a little bit to find the transferable skill. Baking, attention to detail, time management. I bet those things would be helpful in TikTok creation. For example, I have another skill that I didn't list on here, design. I come from a graphic design background, and that helped me tremendously in making little templates for social media posts and things that felt pretty to me to put up. So if you can find it and make a marketing plan that actually inspires you and makes you excited to find all the audiences out there that exist for your game, you'll be much better off, and I think significantly happier. Yeah, punto, fin, se terminó. Thank you for coming to my talk. My talk being, I do know what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcela, for that super dope talk. For everyone else, did y'all know that Game Devs of Color Expo has an Etsy? It is the same name that you see in the corner of the screen, and there are t-shirts, pins, and posters, so please go check it out.